Welcome to AI Trust Talks. This season is special. We're launching the Road to SAP Connect 2026, which is a series of conversations exploring what it truly means to build connected, intelligent, and trusted enterprises in the age of AI. At AI Trust Talks, we believe that technology alone doesn't transform organizations, people do. AI is powerful, but power without trust is fragile. That's why this partnership matters. SAP Connect 2026 is more than an event. It's a moment, it's a platform where leaders, partners, innovators, policymakers, and technologists come together to explore how AI can strengthen connection across industries, ecosystems, and generations. Our mission at AI Trust Talks has always been clear: to elevate the conversation around AI beyond the hype and toward responsibility, collaboration, and meaningful impact. We believe human and AI connection must coexist. Collaboration accelerates safe and responsible innovation, and everyone should have a voice in shaping how AI evolves. AI is not being built in isolation. It's being built by people across enterprises, governments, and communities. And bringing those conversations to the forefront with the leaders delivering real-world impact is exactly where we want to take AI Trust Talks. This is the road to SAP Connect 2026. Let's begin. So, Dr. Rahma, thank you so much for joining us on AI Trust Talks today. I'm really excited about the kind of conversation we'll have. And what I want to start off with today is, can you tell us a bit about your experience and your expertise that you're bringing to the table?
So I have more than 20 years experience in the tech industry. I am working with SAP almost more than 10 years, but in the ecosystem of SAP for more than 20 years. So I have an expertise in consulting, in ERP, in CRM, in BI, but also in the latest technology like blockchain and AI recently. Yeah.
That's really exciting. I know we're going to get into some really good topics today. So, to start us off, I want us to talk a bit about your role, your current role in customer advisory at SAP. How do you think empathy for people is really helping to shape AI adoption today?
So there is few things. The empathy is, I would say, a human transition. It's the move from one state to another state. And the AI adoption is a huge change for anyone in the organization. Today, the most important thing is that we move from what is imposed to the people to use to something that it's more co-created, inspiring for the people. So bringing this empathy in the table of AI adoption is bringing also the spirit of co-creation. Don't impose anything to the people, co-create with them, make them the architect of the change. If they use the AI, they understand the AI, they will adapt it faster. This is one thing. The other thing is AI and the adoption of any technology will need time. So we need to give them a grace period for adoption, safety for adoption. And this is also how we bring empathy on the process of AI adoptions.
That's great. And can you tell us a bit more in your role around customer experience? What are you seeing as some of the top key challenges with your customers today?
The top key challenges, I will say, it's first of all the fear of the new technology, not understanding what is it. It's this black box that things come in and out and they don't understand what's happening. The second is the fear of losing their job, many of the people on the AI, and we don't understand what's AI, if AI is really replacing us as a human or really helping us as a human. This is still a big, big issue in the conversation with our customer. The third element is bringing value from AI, because there are also a lot of hype around AI, and customer, after investing several millions in AI, they want to see the return of investment. What I am getting from it, is it really something that it's happening with AI or not? And the fourth element is, of course, all related to the trust, the transparency, the moral aspect of using AI. If there is enough I will say, security, that when I use AI, I am not uh, introducing any basis, any discrimination in my processes, recruitment processes, any business processes where you expose your data, you expose your processes. You need to be sure that you are compliant and you are not introducing any problematic responsibility, ethical responsibility to your organization by the fact that you are using this technology.
These are really common themes that we're starting to see across many different organizations. So it's interesting that you're facing these with your own customers as well. So we've heard a lot about digital transformation, and organizations are really moving to more automation, more digital transformation. But transformation often lands with the people that have to use the technology or transform the process that you've just mentioned. What are some common human challenges that you're seeing when AI really starts to enter the workplace?
The challenges is the anxiety. And this anxiety about the AI block the adoption and the introduction of the AI in the organization. Link to that, there is another point that often we forget, to have the woman in the loop in the organization. So it's very important that we expose and explicitly inform all the people on the organization. We train them, we inspire them, and we mention to them that the final decision maker is still the human. The human in the loop is one of the main point in the organization when we introduce AI. I think the fourth one is, of course, the training, the knowledge around AI, and the culture that we put in the organization around AI. I think it's a full set. It's not about only understanding the skills, the competences, but also understanding how human will react with AI, because you can have the best AI possible in terms of technology. If your employee aren't using it, they are afraid of it, you will never get any value of it. So it's very important that this anxiety, by the way, the anxiety is one of the major point blocking the adoption of any technology. Recent studies from Harvard mention it. So this is something that I see as the major problem that we have in the adoption and in the introduction of AI.
I really like the points you've mentioned, especially around the anxiety of it, the need for a mindset change and cultural shift as well within an organization. But I also really liked the point you made around inspiring employees, inspiring them to adopt AI, to gain the benefits from it and really leverage it to help them with their day jobs as well.
And this is there is a 5I a model proposed by Columbia Business School. They say first you inform, second you instruct, third you inspire, and then you include, and finally you, I think, instruct the last one.
Yeah, that's really good points. All very critical principles to stick to.
So I think there is a logic behind it, and there is, as you mentioned, a shift in mindset. There is a big shift on mindset. We are shifting, for example, the mindset from coding, knowledge of coding, to a knowledge of prompt engineering, from critical thinking, something different. We are shifting from knowledge accumulation to knowledge of collaboration, speed collaboration, data collection. We are shifting from an output mindset, that means how much I can produce, to a mindset of outcome, how much value I can create. So shifting from proficiency to curiosity also in the organization. And this is a point. The AI is like any technology. We need people to test it and to be curious about it. And when they start testing it, they will see a value of it, but also they will see what AI can do, what AI cannot do. So the fear and the anxiety becomes less and less, because it's not more this black box. It's something that you tested personally in your daily life or in your organization. And you start also acquiring new skills that you didn't have before. And you discover that the skills what we are thinking about before, that are coding something very complex. In fact, with prompt engineering, it's less complex than we think. and we can acquire these skills and we can start using it. I think the all this is linked to the culture and how we introduce it and how the leadership and the different teams put in place the right environment for the employee to start using AI and start testing it.
Yeah. I like the point around value. How do we keep bringing value to the organization, but value to the individual and the humans as well to keep building that trust in it? In your experience with the customers that you're working with, how are you seeing leaders really pushing technology forward and wanting to innovate and needing to innovate, but also anchoring it in decisions that really protect that human experience?
Yes. So, first of all, in our interaction with the customer, it's very important that we clearly address, I would say, the elephant of the room. That means what? There are fears in the room, and you need to address it immediately. That, yes, what AI can do, what AI cannot do, but in the other side is the impact of AI in my organization and in my people. The second element, all of them want to see a value of AI, where I use AI. And this is very important point that we will expose in SAP Connect. We will present the different aspects of AI that SAP is working on it and how we are bringing value to the organizations by using AI embedded in SAP or AI built with SAP. So this is also a very big topic that we will be addressed in SAP Connect. The third element that we will be also exposing in SAP Connect is how SAP also make AI easy to consume and simple to understand for any employee. We have a full of methodology to accompany and to be with our customer in a way that they will be introducing the AI in their organization. And our AI is developed through different principles, and the major one of them is reliable and responsible, because this is the two aspects of AI. People want AI to be reliable, that means works, but in the same time, if there is any hallucination, to be fixed and to not tell them that AI is working and not fixing bug. And at the same time, it needs to be responsible. They need to promote integrity of this AI, avoiding what we discussed before, business discrimination and so on. So I think these all aspects are part of our offering on AI, and we will be discussing this with our customers during our SAP Connect. We will have workshop on that, and we will explain our methodology as SAP that we want to propose to our customers, how to accompany them to introduce AI on it. A few things is, first of all, to address the problems, the fear. Secondly is to show the value, and to show the value in a way that AI will never replace human being. The final decision will stay with human. I don't see even in the next years AI taking responsibility instead of human. How AI and human will be working together, and then how we make the employees also using AI, which kind of training they need, which kind of shift needs to be in place, which kind of culture needs to be in place, and so on. So I think the three elements, and of course, the way that we introduce the AI is also through pilots, for example, with SAP in different industries. And then SAP has a skin of the game because we are also part of this pilot and we are testing it with our customers.
I'm really pleased to see that some of these really hot, important topics will be addressed at SAP Connect this year. Just from various different conversations, understanding where the process SAP has gone through to really solidify those foundations and the infrastructure needed to make AI successful and to really augment the processes within your customers. It's really great to see that is actually happening. So we've talked a bit about mindset, and when you're engaging with your customers and the role of around customer experience, what shifts do you think are needed around AI and the talent readiness in your customers' organizations?
The shift is essentially around more critical thinking, human centric skills, strategic thinking. These are key elements for any new, I would say, way of using AI. AI essentially all the AIs that we know in the market, including our Joule assistant, our generative AI, to make it really working well, you need to have a correct prompt. Okay. If you don't have the correct prompt, you don't have the right or the depth of the answers. And I think the more you are expert in prompt engineering and how you put your critical thinking in words, the best the answer will be from the AI, and the best you will get an outcome from the AI. And this critical thinking, this human centering aspect, this strategic thinking will be the key. Curiosity will be a key element because it's all about testing AI, and don't be afraid of taking 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 AI and test them. See the results, test again, see what's happening, understand what's the value of this AI compared to this one, how I can use this one in my job and not and instead of this one, and so on. I think this quantity of elements, that the new skills that people need to acquire, it's the big shift in terms of the way that the people are today using their knowledge and I would say their experience on doing business. They will use it differently. I am not saying that they don't need it anymore. It's always needed, but it will be used in another way. And this is the shift that needs to happen. I think the shift is probably easier than we think because people are already using AI in their daily job without knowing it. The only thing that we need to get them using it in the professional side. I will give a personal anecdote. So I started using AI long time ago, but I was not using the latest, I will say, AI stuff, ChatGPT and so on, OpenAI. I never thought that ChatGPT will bring too much value in my environment anyway. And I started recently using more AI provided by SAP, like Azure, like Claude, who is integrated with our AI in our daily job. And I was surprised how fast I adopt this new way of working. It was very fast. In 2 days, I was addicted to these tools, and I try a new tool and another new tool and another new tool. And now I am using it almost all the time. And even my team, yesterday, one of them say, "Wow, you are scaring me. You are using AI too much." Because we are discussing topics, and then I said, "Yeah, but I checked this with AI, and then we do this with Joule and so on." And he was completely scared. He said, "You scared me. How much you are using AI in 1 week? It's too much." And then we see that the adoption go very, very fast. We estimate internally in SAP that the adoption from last week to this week was multiplied by 36 internally, the usage of AI internally for coding, for customer advisory teams, pre-sales, and so on. From last week to this week globally, we multiplied by 36.
Wow.
Yeah. So this, I think the point is the starting. You need to have the right environment, the right trust to make people trying and testing. Because when they start trying and testing, they will see, of course, there will be mistakes and we need to fix it. There will be problems regards the organization, the processes, and so on. But my belief is at the end, we will learn to work with AI. AI will be another partner in the workspace, but will never be a co-worker in the same level than a human being. But we need to learn to work with it because AI can do a lot of stuff, but cannot do everything.
I love that personal story you bring into it. And I caught myself recently saying, gosh, I'm getting a bit addicted to using some of the LLM tools that are out there today. And it can be addictive if you see that value and keep leveraging that value to bring to your daily life. It's not just in work, it's your personal life. And we all want efficiency gains to be able to add value in different other different areas. So if we're talking about trust, do you think trust comes from technology and the model, or do you think it comes from the inclusion of the human and the communication with the human?
I think it's both. It's both. It's about the capabilities of the model to understand these capabilities, and these capabilities need to be reliable, but also by integrating the human and putting the human in the center of what we are developing around AI and make the human the final decision maker. And both of them need to exist. Otherwise, it cannot work. Technology alone don't work. If we are only focusing on human and we are not focusing on making the technology reliable, there is no value at the end of the day. So I would say the trust comes from both. And what make this work together very nicely is the culture. So when you have the reliable technology and you have the right, I would say, environment for human being, making human in the center of everything, getting the human in the loop, getting inclusive in the way that we develop, we introduce AI in our organization, all this is cemented by the culture.
And what do you think that increase in SAP by 36? What do you think were the drivers of that increase? Was it communication saying we want you to start leveraging these tools? What sort of really helped increase those numbers?
I think this is the most important thing is communication, collaboration. We invest a lot internally in SAP on getting our people to use, to understand, and to learn AI. We have AI Academy. We have AI webinar almost every day. You can have an AI events for learning every day, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know how many. You can reach any one of them. You have access to many validated, approved tool internally to use in your daily job, to test it, to see the value of it. You can participate to many projects. Each organization inside SAP, like us as customer advisory, we had AI events and AI sharing knowledge with different teams around the world, project that they did, pilots and so on. You can be part of it. In the last 2 days, less than 24 hours, only my team had at least 3 or 4 events around AI focus on their job, really, on the pilot, on project that we did somewhere, on new tools that we can use and so on. This is internally only. And then you have all the AIs that we are doing for our customers and the knowledge around this AI that we are doing to our customers. We are proposing to our customers. So quantity of learning in a nice way, I will say an easy way. The AI Academy is a really very friendly process. You choose, there is a path. You can start from beginner to expert and so on. And you choose your path. You choose this, I would say, the timeline that you want to do and so on. And then you start using it. And you have these tools that you can just get from SAP portal and you can test it daily. And we talk about it. In our organization, in my team, we have a ritual. Every 2 weeks or every week, we have a presentation about what AI can do. We put it as an example. We say, okay, one of the team test one tool. He came and he speak about it. And then the others say, okay, I want to test it also. Why this tool is so nice? Why my colleague is using it? And so on. And the people start discussing it and using it. In our team meetings, sometimes we are discussing and then we say, okay, let's ask AI on this topic. What AI will bring us? Boom. In our work, we have a lot of, I would say, sometimes repetitive tasks in terms of documentation and so on. Then we use our Joule for consultant. We are also proposing it to our customers, but we use it internally even for us. Prepare our proposal, also to understand our system, to train our teams and so on. So this collaboration, the easy to use, the ritual that we put in place, the, I would say, voluntary action from the management to bring AI on the table, on the conversation without fear, without any problems, and to test it ourselves. It's not only to say, people, you need to use AI in your daily job. No, I test it, I use it in my daily job, and we discuss it and we exchange about it. There is a problem, we mention it, we call it out. If it works, we call it out also. So I think this communication, this collaboration is a key in the way that we work today.
This is a great approach. Leadership can set direction, they can align the strategy of where the organization's going, but also bring in the tools and allow the tools to be accessible. But then the people on the ground, the people in the front steps are driving that adoption as well. And I love how you've brought that into your team meetings and getting people to present how they are using AI. And it sparks innovation from other people in the team and ways of using it. So it's a really purpose-driven way of AI adoption. Am I correct to say that you are serving as SAP's sustainability?
Yes, ambassador, yeah, leader, yeah.
How do you think this is aligning to the AI strategy?
I would say sustainability is in a certain way a conscience of AI because many people that they use AI, maybe they don't know that AI is consuming a lot of energy, a lot of water, cooling down all these data centers that they are running all this AI. And this is very heavy in terms of carbon footprint, emission of gas, and so on. And one of the topic where AI and sustainability are linked is also on the way that sustainability influence how we build the data center and how we run the programs in AI. Because each time you have a demand on AI or you have a query going on or a prompt going on in AI, it's consuming data center, consuming the electricity and the emission globally. So we calculate the emission of each prompt or each AI usage, in fact, in general. The second element is sustainability is not only about environment, it's also about human and about the, I would say, the fairness, the equity, the social equity. And this is another element where sustainability and AI are linked. Finally is a lot of organizations today have to produce several important reports on sustainability, like ESG reports and so on. And these are reports that sometimes is very complicated to produce. Data are not easy to get and to automate or to put in place. And here where the AI help us to get this data and to automate them and to get them on time, deliver it to the different decision maker through the different channels. So there is different aspects where AI and sustainability are interconnected.
I think this is such a hot topic when organizations are really looking to adopt AI, but then how do we factor in those sustainability pillars that really need to be focused on as well? I love the fact that you're using it as a positive as well to say, how can we use AI to help us with our sustainability reporting? And it's such a good use case that we're starting to see through as well. So we've talked a bit about responsible AI and meaningful AI as well, but what does it really look like when sustainability is part of the agenda?
When sustainability is part of the agenda, first of all, we use AI differently. So we will, for example, use more green token AI. We will more use minimization of the complexity of the algorithm that we are doing, because the more algorithm is really long and complex, the more it will consume energy. The third element is the transparency. You will bring transparency overall because the traceability of your carbon footprint is needed in sustainability. So you need to be transparent on things, how it happened. But at the same time, I will not say one is the opposite of the other. It's not because you are sustainable that means you are not using AI, or if you are not using AI, you are not sustainable. On the contrary, usually they go hands in hands. For example, if you use AI, for example, reduce the energy in the buildings, reducing the energy consumption in the buildings by using AI, you reduce also the emissions in sustainability. If you use AI, for example, to improve the experience of your employees, you improve the well-being of these employees. So you achieve one of the ESG goals. So it's never one or the other. It can be together, working together. And this is where we want the organization to think about AI and sustainability as the face of the same coin, two faces of the same coin, we can say. It's not one against the others. And we don't put sustainability or AI as a mandate. It's more a purpose-driven organization. We want to be, I would say, an efficient organization, a modern organization, intelligent organization, but at the same time, we want to be sustainable. So both can work together. And this is more about how the organizations see their strategy for AI and their sustainability strategy. And both can be together. We can think about sustainable AI strategy, about green AI strategy. Some of the companies are implementing it where they mix both on their decision and the way that they will integrate the new technology in their organization.
I like how you've positioned this to really complement each other, sustainability and AI really working hand in hand to deliver good results for the greater good, and how you're making decisions at a leadership level as to which type of AI models you should particularly look at and put that sustainability leverage lens, I should say, on it. So if we're talking about compliance, and we touched a bit on this before, how do organizations move from compliance-led decisions to really innovation-led decisions in this space?
First of all, it's a purpose-driven decisions. That means instead of implementing rules, it's more about getting the benefits of these rules as a driver and not the rule, the compliance as a driver. So if I implement these rules, or if I have AI, sustainable AI, I can achieve 1, 2, 3. Okay. So it's not, I need to put this rule because it's imposed to me. No, put it on the positive side. It's not a constraint, it's an opportunity. Really moving from a constraint, legal constraint, to an opportunity for the business, an opportunity for the people on the organization. And this is a shift mindset and the way that they work. So everything regarding the strategy and the purpose-driven will be then in a positive way. It's not, I am obliged in a certain way to follow it, so I will do it. No, it's like in the beginning, people thinks that the compliance of the ESG was, I want to follow the ESG because it's legal requirement, but they didn't see that ESG brings a lot of information for their organization, where they are consuming, from where they are consuming their carbon footprint, how they can improve their emissions, how they can reduce their energy costs, and has immediately effect on their bottom line and so on. So it's not because it's compliant, but it's a business-driven decision. Same thing when we talk about AI and sustainability, it becomes a purpose-driven decision more than a rules application methodology.
I like the way you framed this into the mindset shift around moving to more, if your baseline is purpose driven, you will automatically have opportunities and good results, not just for SAP, but also for your customers as well. Are you seeing your customers and the conversations you're having with customers putting a real focus on responsible and ethical AI in today's day and age?
Yes, a lot. A lot of our customers having also a fear that AI maybe is developing faster than the legislation. So internally, they are putting also committee to evaluate the, I would say, responsibility, the ethical responsibility of any AI project that they are putting in place. And I think this is the point that today legislation, regulatory are putting a lot of rules around AI, but we see that the development of AI is much, much faster than the legislation in different countries. So the organization are taking in charge this internally, where they have this committee for ethical committee. Even the board ethical committee usually is approving certain AI project. Yeah.
It's really glad to see that customers and just organizations in general are really starting to focus on this. So we've talked a bit about leadership and customers and all connection and trust. And I want us to focus on a bit on this more. So in your experience, what leadership traits do you think matter the most in the era of AI, the rapid change and the need for digital transformation?
I would say adaptive intelligence, the capacity to unlearn and learn again. This is super important for a leader because otherwise we have I would say, fixed mindset, and we need to get to the open mindset. Empathy, we discussed it before. I think empathy is one of the key elements here, but also I will say discernment. AI can do a lot of things, but as a leader, you need also to know what we should do with AI. Not everything that AI can do, we will do. So this discernment is very important. So I will resume adaptive intelligence, empathy, human-centric, and discernment.
I really like this approach as well, and the need for that mindset change of leaders, not just to unlearn, like you've mentioned, but just to drive the organization forward. This is what we will and won't use AI for, and how do we keep gaining value in our business and driving our business just with these tools that we can adapt to. So how do you think leaders really cultivate connection, both internally and externally for your customers as well, as these technologies really start to evolve?
It's important that we keep the connection with the employees and in the field, because at the end of the day, they are using these tools. And the connection is through rituals, through culture, through collaboration. This is very important. The other element is really that this connection is not only internal to the organization, it's also with the ecosystem, because it's very important that we continue to interact with our ecosystem using AI. Our suppliers are using AI, our customers are using AI, the different stakeholders around us are using AI. And this connection is very important to understand how they use it, for what they use it, and so on. More to learn and to collaborate also. And the third element is to install really human-centric strategy around AI in general. Is not that the system drive, but the human-centric drive the change. And this is one of the, I think, the major points, how the leaders can maintain the connection with their team, because they put them in the center of the transformations.
I was going to touch on this a bit more. So with customers that you've been working with, what do you think in the success stories that you've seen, what are some of those key drivers of success?
I would say some of the key drivers of success, I saw in certain customers around technology, not only AI, it's a lot about change management. It's a lot about adoption and giving the time to the team to adopt. It's also about inclusiveness, getting the team involved from the beginning, get them to become part of the project, build with them, not for them, but with them, the future of the organization. And we see it in many companies where the adoption afterwards happen and the value happen, because the value cannot happen without adoption. Adoption brings values. So to be sure that the adoption happening and we are investing on the right technology for the right things in the organization, inclusiveness of the people from the beginning, build with them, make them at the center of the organization, the architect of the transformation, then you can get the value. And I believe this is under a big umbrella that we call it change management. Sometimes people hate these words, but under change management, there is a lot of words. And I think today, the adoption is the most important thing that we need to tackle, because without adoption, there is no value for anyone. There is no value for the business. There is no value for the human in the business. And today, when we see on the market, let's go even in financial market, the major issue and the major problem around AI is adoption in finance. This is a point. Adoption in finance. What's adoption in finance is the monetization of AI. How we see the value in the business of getting an AI investment. And this has an underline is adoption and built with the people, for the people, the right use cases, the right system that will bring value to the organization. So everything is connected, it's not disconnected, the financial area from the business area and leadership area. That's why it's a full ecosystem.
Because you've just touched on this point, are you seeing the CFOs in organizations really starting to ask the questions around what is the value of the AI? What value are we seeing?
All of them. There is no customers that we discuss with. He's not asking for a business case, let's be honest. And without business case, you don't have any deal. Yeah.
No money. No one signing the check.
No.
In the customers that you're speaking to and on their own transformation journey, how are you building trust into when you're advising executive teams and leadership teams on their transformation? How are you really starting to build that trust with them in the age of AI?
I think one thing important, people don't want to hear what they want, what make them feel good. They want to hear the right things. And in fact, this is the point, is to have the courage to tell it as it is and to tell the situation as it looks like. There is customers that they want to implement AI without any strategy, without any purpose, just because they want to have AI in their background, process, financial statement at the end of the year, I don't know. And then you have to sit with them saying, okay, I understand your point, but I believe that you have to think about it twice. Maybe AI today for you is not the right thing, you know? You need to start somewhere else. But if you insist to do AI, do a small pilot. Go and play with it in a small pilot. When you understand that, we come back. Then this, I will say, authenticity, this transparency, honesty in terms of the conversation, I think this is where the customer start listening to us. We need to make AI talk business, but talk business effectively. It's not about technology. It's not about wow. It's not about the hype. You need to be authentic about what AI can do, what cannot do. Is AI the right fit for the organization or not? This is the right use case or not? What's the value of this use case? It's easy or not to implement it? What's the adoption process for this AI? Is it the right one for their organization? Maybe it's the right use case, the right AI, but not for this organization. It's maybe for another organization. So we need to have this conversation. And we need also to be there when the decision is made that we will adopt AI with you and we will go on a journey. So it's a partnership. It's a partnership for life. So that means we are with you on this. So we have a skin in the game. Our interest is your interest. Our value is your value. So this connection, I think, between the trust built based on fact, based on authenticity, transparency, honesty, but also trust based on the fact that we are here, we are together, we are a partner, and we will be with you on this process, and we have a skin on the game.
You've really touched on key points to drive that trust through the partnership, through the authenticity. When there's so much hype out there around AI at the moment, how do we bring that true value? So going back to your experience, what's one lesson that you've learned about leadership in the age of AI that hasn't changed, but AI may have really highlighted that leadership trait?
One thing I will say will never change. People will always trust you if you care about them, if you speak to them with authenticity, if you are there for them. Doesn't matter AI exists or doesn't exist. At the end of the day, the trust that you build with the people is not based on the AI. It's based on your authenticity. It's based on your connection with them. It's based on repetitive, positive interactions. I would say they never forget how you make them feel. So, and this is not connected with AI. AI can help, I will tell you. I am, maybe I shouldn't say that, but personal experience. I'm someone very direct. Sometimes people like it, don't like it. Sometimes people think that I am too much challenging and so on. So I start using AI in my emails and my communication with the team. And I was saying, okay, I will write my email. This is my idea. But then I know that I am very direct and harsh. So I say to AI, please write it to me in a collaborative way for the team. Change the wording, same ideas, same message, softer, more collaborative. And I send the message to the team. My team start loving it. I even receive messages saying, wow, nice email, unusual. So I was surprised by myself. Say, wow, in fact, it helped me to even build better interaction with my team and better communication with my team, and then build the trust with the team. In fact, AI is helping me in this case to even becoming better leaders, because sometimes we have this business about ourselves. We are in an international environment in Dubai, different culture, different background, different experience. So what works for one maybe don't work for others. The message sometimes can be very harsh. Some people can understand it, some people don't understand it, or understand it in the wrong way. So you have to say, "I know, I didn't want to say that." It was not the meaning of my email. Having this reality check, I would say, with the AI and writing in different format and see which one will be transcripting the right meaning of my message and then sending the team has a very good, I would say, impact in my relationship with them today, and also getting a better, I would say, understanding between us.
There's such a wonderful story around authenticity, being human, being truly human, but knowing that there's a degree of where things may not land correctly with your team. And I'm a bit the same as well, as how can you actually use AI to help messages land a bit differently, especially if you're working one way with different cultures, and we're so multicultural in this beautiful country, and just using it to that advantage as well, and helping you build that connection with your team, because the meaning may not have been there when the first message landed. So I really love that you brought that story to the table. Let's focus a bit more on the future of work, and it's a hot topic, and everyone's talking about the future of work and the skills, and we've talked a bit about this already. What's real and what's hype from your customer advisory perspective?
I think there is a lot of hypes around the fact that we say AI will replace all human. This is a lot of hypes. Today, AI cannot replace human everywhere. But at the same time, yes, some jobs will be affected by AI. They will be affected by AI because maybe AI will do it better, or the jobs itself was so technical driven and repetitive that the value of it is no more, I would say, important in our new worlds of data available for everyone and everywhere. So yes, there will be jobs affected, but there will be a lot of new jobs. There will be also a lot coexistence between AI and human, partnering between AI and human. And this is the reality, that it's not black and white. We will survive or we will all dead with AI. No, there will be situation where, yes, some jobs will disappear, but there will be a quantity of jobs that we don't know today, or we start, seeing they are not even a jobs. People are doing stuff we don't know what, but doesn't have a name yet, but it's a job, and will be a new job for tomorrow. And they will be, at the end, people working. Every one of us needs to know how to work with AI, which AI to use in his job, which one for each task, which one, I would say, the plus and minus of each AI tool that you have. Some AI tools are good for that. Some AI tools are good for that. Not all of them are good for everything. So this knowledge will be available. The more we adopt AI, the more we use AI. So this is the reality. So it's less black and white.
And knowing that there are some roles that will be replaced by AI, not everything, but some, but new jobs created, how can organizations really start to prepare their talent tool on what those future roles might be without leaving those humans behind?
I think different elements are important. Of course, training, I would say training, continuous training, learning all the time. It's not one shot learning, it's all the time. Organization needs to encourage, put the environment, offer the learning, but individuals also need to maintain this learning. I think we will be always on a learning journey. And I don't see this as a big problem. I think it's a good thing so that people continue to learn in their life and don't stop learning, because technology will evolve. The AI today is not the AI on in the 5 days, 5 years coming. We talk a lot about agentic AI, the agent AI. We will have agent AI for different functions, and we need to learn how the agents are created, how the agents work, because with all the new technology, including SAP, you can create your own agents, and you can have an agent for anything that you want in your organization, in your processes. So learning how to build an agent, what agents can do, and so on, it's a continuous learning. It's like learning how to do an Excel file today. It's similar than that. And I think this is that the organization need to facilitate, to put the environment for it, but also to encourage the critical thinking. I think there are some stuff that it's important. The more you will use AI, the more you will need your critical thinking, the more you will need ethical thinking, the more you will need human-centric empathy and so on. All these elements, okay, some of them we can teach, some of them it's difficult to teach, but it can be teach or it can be installed with a culture. So this where the company can help the organization there. And I think this is what the experience of each organization, the journey that each organization will go through, will determine how successful they will be in the future with the new AI. Because it's not only about replacing the old people who doesn't understand AI with new people who understand AI. It's not just like this. It's not as simple as that. Yes, they understand AI, but how they work with AI, how they collaborate with AI, how they have the right critical thinking about what AI produce and what they need to achieve. Is it aligned? Is not aligned? How they bring additional value to AI? How they make the customer and the company successful by working together between human and AI. And this is just, it's not, I am replacing people. No, it's more than that.
I like how you framed it. It's not just the organisation have an obligation to provide training. It's also up to the individual to keep upskilling and reskilling. And we learn every day and new things come along. And now it's just an era where we need to, might learn some new different things as well and bring them to the table. So we've talked a bit about this, but what skills do you think are really going to matter beyond 2026?
Prompt engineering, for sure. Prompt engineering is the skill number one today in 2026. And also, as we mentioned, I would say the collaboration and the critical thinking. I will put the three of them. Yeah.
That's good points. And we've talked a bit about inclusion. What role do you think diversity plays in a responsible AI adoption?
Diversity is bringing another, I would say, another angle. It helps also to avoid biases, to avoid discrimination. When you have the LLMs and you train the LLMs with a diverse human, diverse situation, you will touch on different topics and you will touch also on situation of discrimination, not only the normal discrimination, we can say also discrimination for people of determination and so on, and also the basis in the way that you evaluate, for example, the performance of your employees, the business regards a manager and the personal interaction that he has with one employee, he will be his favorite compared to the others and so on. I think this diversity of, I would say, people working in the AI environment, but also diversity of the situation where we train our LLMs, diversity of cases make us more ethical, because we will have more examples of an ethical situation or a non-compliant situation that will be tackled with the AI.
Yeah, those are really good points. It's good. I'm glad to hear that you've brought people of determination to the table as well. It's quite often an underrepresented group of people as well. How do you see AI really strengthening and not weakening organizational culture?
It's all about how AI is deployed in the organization. It's come back to the first question that you asked, the adoption of AI and how AI works. We often think that organizations should impose AI to their employees. No, it's really the fact that you co-create AI with your employees. And this is the main thing. If you want to be successful with AI, it's sit with you as a leadership, but also with you as an employee in the organization. It's both. Both you have a role to play. And if the organization is just pushing the AI to the employees and not taking care about all the aspects that we discussed, the fear, the FOBO, and so on, all the elements around training, around compliance, around diversity, around ethics, around the critical thinking, and so on, and just say, I put Joule for you, you use it. You will not get anything from it. It's important that the people understand the value that this brings to them. And we need to also make it clear and not a black box for everyone to understand how AI works. And then to collaborate with them, to create with them the AI that fits them and fit the organization and bring the value to the organization.
I like how you've just put fear and FOMO in the same sentence. There's a fear of missing out, but then there's also fear of AI as well. Yeah. There's two sides of that fear. So we have a signature question in this series of AI Trust Talks. As AI does become more embedded in the way we work and the way we operate, what does connection mean to you in the age of AI? And how can we strengthen it together as we move towards 2030?
Connection for me means human. This is the humanity part of AI. This is what meaning for me. And the main thing for me today that I see and I am really very attached to it is the culture. Everything is possible when you have the right culture. The right culture allow you to thrive with AI, to get value from AI, and to get your people happy to use AI, and even pushing you for more AI. It's all about the culture. If we have the right culture, we have the right connection with our human colleagues and human employees and human leaders, and we share a vision, we share a purpose, and we have all the aspect of the culture in place: safety, training, enablement, right to test and to fail and to test again, time to learn, time to improve, and time to also encourage others to get on board, because we don't have all of us the same, I would say, speed to adapt and to change. Then I believe this is what makes us the most successful, because technology is there, technology will evolve. The AI of today is not the AI of tomorrow. Agentic AI will be even more, I would say, available for everyone. We will talk about orchestration of AI, and so agentic AI, we will touch on this in the SAP Connect, all the technology parts, but also we will touch how this new orchestration of this agent will be integrated on the organization itself. And the fact that it's integrated with the organization, that means there is interconnection with the human being in the organization. So anything around connection with the human, collaboration with the human, culture, is for me the key element of success for tomorrow. It's the key for the adoption, is the key for the value, is the key for your market share, and is the key for your stock in the market. Because the market is waiting for the inference, the valuation, the monetization of your AI. And if you think back ahead, then you get back to that.
I love that connection and the way you framed that whole process and line of sight around there. So Dr. Rahma, thank you so much for joining us on AI Trust Talks. I'm really looking forward to SAP Connect Day this year. Any kind of key points you want to say before we lead into SAP Connect Day?
Yes, I will say come, because you will see something new, something different, and you will touch it, because we will be very specific on anything that we are proposing to our customers. I think you will like it, and I am looking forward to have a very, very fruitful conversation, a nice conversation with you.